So today I'm going to be making a simple flower arrangement using some greens and these beautiful ranunculus, lisianthus, poppies, chamomile, and some other fillers that I have here. Basically you want to start with, of course, a vase of fresh water. And I already pre-cut my greens just a little bit just so they weren't so long. But I'm just going to show you a little technique I learned from doing flowers. The best thing you can do is just start with your greens and start putting them in your vase at an angle. So you're basically going to want to put a cross in. That's going to make kind of like a map inside the vase so you can start putting the flowers, and they're not very flimsy. It just gives them a nice place to be wedged into. So here I am using some eucalyptus, and I'm just putting them in at an angle, crossing them, making sure I get a nice place for my flowers to be. Just going to add a few more greens, and again I'm just putting them in kind of like in an X pattern. Also, what's important to note is that if the greens or the flower is leaning a certain way, it's best to put it in a position where it can lean the way that it would like. So, for example, here I want some more greens. I'm going to put this one since it's leaning this way, so it can just be placed where it wants. Same thing with this one. I want some more green over here on this side. This one's already leaning to that side. And one more, I'm going to want some more here. So let me turn my vase so you can see. You can see this one is leaning the direction that I would like it to. And again, just putting them in a cross pattern. So now I have a little bit of a base here going, and I'm going to start to add in my flowers. And if I need to add more greens later on, that's fine too. So I'm going to start using my bigger flowers. I like to use the bigger flowers around the outside of the arrangement, and then go lighter towards the top, so the smaller flowers to line the top. So here's one. And again with the flowers, just like the greens, you're going to keep wanting to put them in at angles to make an X so that they can all hold each other together and you don't end up with a flimsy arrangement. It takes some practice, but eventually you get the hang of it. I'm going to leave this one just a little higher, just for some dimension up here. I like to start using all the same flowers first, so right now I'm just using lisianthus. Kind of goes in order. And my goal with this arrangement is for it not to look too put together, but to look like something you could have just walked outside and picked off a garden and brought it back home and put it in a vase. So I've got my lisianthus in there. And you can see the arrangement, they're not like swooshing back and forth because I've been able to put them into that pattern. So now I'm going to move on to the poppies that I have here. I've got a beautiful white and coral color. And you can see here I'm missing something big, so I'm going to add this one to the side to give this side some dimension. So there's that one, and I'm going to give this one some height because it is smaller, so it'll give it some nice dimension up top. Let's go ahead and turn it towards me. And same thing with the flowers, just like the greens, you kind of want to let them lean where they naturally lean, not force them to go any other way. Now I'm going to add in my ranunculus. I've got a pretty red and this sort of golden yellow color. And so now I'm going to move on to my fillers. I've got these 3 beautiful fillers. The same thing with the fillers, you want to cross them in and just let them lean the way they would naturally lean. And you want to balance the color out as well. So I've got one here of the same one. Let's see where else I could use one. Probably right over here. And I might even move this Lysiantha just because there's 3 in a row there. So I'm just going to take that out. It can be tricky once you've got them crossed in there, but you can kind of just shimmy it out of there. So see, I've got this one out now, and I'm going to actually place it right on this side. That's the beautiful thing about flower arranging. You can move things around the way that feels right for you. It's like making your own art. And so now that I've got these placed here, I'm thinking also of moving one of these red ones to a different location, just for more balance and dimension. And I'm most likely going to move it down here, just to give this spot a nice fill as well. There you go. I like that better. So I'm going to keep adding my filler, and like I said, I'm just going to try to balance it out with the colors. We've got some beautiful chamomile that I can add as well. And again, you just want to keep crossing and arranging the way you like, so that those flowers can get a nice X pattern to them. Just looking around to see where else can use some nice chamomile. Don't want to hide these too much, so I'm having this one stick out just a little bit more so you can see that beautiful lavender color. Now I'm going to add in some wax just for some more depth of color. I'm going to add this on this side here. There we go. And one final stem. I'll go ahead and place that on this side here. And I don't think I need to add any more greenery to this arrangement. It's already looking pretty nice and full. But I am going to just scoop it out of the base and clean off any excess that has built up around the sides, just to make sure it has a nice clean look, and it'll just make it easier to care for these flowers once they're in the vase. So I peeled off about 5 leaves here, and you can kind of see it's staying together in my hand because I've been able to go ahead and cross them. And so there you have it. This is how you can make a simple garden style arrangement using pretty much everyday flowers.